Shalingo. Sounds like a dream, right? No, it's reality. Let Supercap get you transfer this video to download the app, or you can also download the app on Play Store. I'm so excited for this, and I know you are too. Use Supercap today and be happy. Bye. What if I told you there's a cab service you can book right now in Shalingo? Sounds like a dream, right? No, it's reality. Let Supercap get you transported to anywhere you want to go in Shalingo, and let them also run your errands for you while you sit at the comfort of your home. And guess what? It is affordable, reliable, and fast. They run a 24-hour service. You can click the link attached to this video to download the app, or you can also download the app on Play Store. I'm so excited for this, and I know you are too. Use Supercap today and be happy. Bye. What if I told you there's a cab service you can book right now in Shalingo? Sounds like a dream, right? No, it's reality.
When a tanker bearing fuel falls or an underground pipe bearing fuel bursts, what do? Scooping fuel in your bucket or running far away from impending fire? You have a few seconds to take the wisest decision. Walk away? No, that is not enough. Shift? No, that is not enough. Stay there and gist and take shots with your phone? That is madness. Run. Yes, run away. Yes, your life depends on your action. The flames come suddenly, unexpected but uncontrollable. Why? Fuel is highly inflammable. Why? It just requires a spark to set off a ravaging inferno. So, don't stay there to think. Storm away to live. Do not throw away your life in anguish for meaningless fuel siphoning. Be advised.
Good evening, viewers. Welcome to Hangout with Journalists on Sumtv. Hangout with Journalists on Sumtv is where we bring people of the media profession, people of the pen profession, publishers, authors, correspondents, media house owners, and everybody involved in the media in Nigeria to come and discuss national matters, things that are trending in the nation, in the states, and around the world. And today is another wonderful day, another glorious day, and with me in the studio today is Chief Gabriel Olayinka. Chief Gabriel Olayinka, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
it's my pleasure being here.
I know anytime you are in the studio, we know that there's a big one coming. And today we are going to look at two very, very major events. One that affects the nation directly, and the other one affects the nation, but from the angle of Taraba State. So we are going to start with, let us start from the major one, Taraba, from the nation, the issue of the PDP. Today, there was a meeting of the Board of Trustees, who are meant to be the conscience of the party. The Board of Trustees of the PDP is made up of prominent members of the PDP, and it is chaired by Chief Adolphus Wabara, former Senate President, who was one senator from Abia South, and a former Senate President, and a respected leader of the PDP was meant to preside over the BOT meeting today, and a lot of Nigerians have looked forward to this meeting as one of those the issues should be resolved. But unfortunately, it was not meant to be, simply because there is also the pending issue of who is the authentic secretary of the party, the national secretary of the party. We have Samuel Anyanwu, who was the national secretary of the party, but left to contest for the elections as PDP governorship candidate in Anambra State. He lost the election, and while he was running for election at the Southeast Caucus came together and selected former youth leader Uche Okoye as the new national secretary. Was nominated, and he has been acting that capacity, only for Sunday Anyanwu to come and say he wants to go back to his position. So this has led to legal tussle, and Federal High Court declared December last year that Uche Okoye is the substantial secretary of the party, but it has not been accepted by Anyanwu, and he has gone to the Supreme to appeal the matter. So as it is, the matter is sub judice. So as the case today, as the meeting began, which on the high table of the BOT meeting, we had the former governors, former PDP governors, the BOT chairman, and the acting chairman, Damagun, were all on seat, and Anyanwu was also on seat. And Uche Okoye came in, he sat down at the edge of the table. After so, he greeted everyone, excluding Anyanwu. He didn't shake hands with Anyanwu as you heard from the news. And later, he was told to leave the hall, and he was taken out by loyalists that are loyalists of Anyanwu, and it led to a fracas. And like we say, it became a free for all. Chief Olayinka, you've been following politics for years, and you know how it is, how the PDP has always been. Do you think this BOT, the fracas in the BOT meeting, do you think this is spelling end of the road for PDP?
For me, what I expected in today's BOT was that both the two parties will have not been invited at all to the BOT meeting. Because when you want to do a reconciliation of this nature, there is need for you to make sure that you leave those who are having issues aside, so that you, both of you, the BOT is supposed to be a group of leaders and elders. They are supposed to have meets without Nwanso and Okoye in Anyanwu and Okoye in attendance, because you see, this is a legal issue. When we talk about legal issue, is the fact that one, he left to go and contest election, and normally you will have asked yourself that what if he has won the election? You understand? I expected that maybe we'll be seeing the video of what happens. Yes, you know. So because the matter that happened is really very amazing and disturbing. So the question you ask yourself is, what if he has won that governorship, that Imo governorship election? Will he still come back to want to be the secretary of PDP? He will have not.
Yes.
So now that he lost and he did not win the election, you want to come back. But let us not be the judge. Let's allow the judiciary to, because you see, originally judiciary has affirmed
Okoye.
Yes,
Okoye
as the authentic secretary. But once we went to court, Anyanwu went to court for stay of action.
Yeah.
And the court is yet to decide on that matter, to understand who truly. So PDP will have used a more diplomatic approach in solving this problem. And what is that diplomatic approach? At today's BOT meeting, both Uche and Anyanwu were not supposed to be invited. Because if you want to say, okay, this is the one you are for, but why the two of them are not supposed to be part of it is because the matter is before the court.
Yes.
So since the matter is before the court, you needed to ensure that the court give a proper pronouncement on who supposed to be the authentic secretary. because this matter is still under contention.
Definitely.
So for me, it's a complete error for PDP to have bring in because the BOT is supposed to serve as an umpire.
Yes.
Because the BOT supersede the National Working Committee.
Yes.
The BOT is supposed to be like a council of elders who, when the national, because both the parties were supposed to be a members of the National Working Committee. So the BOT is supposed to serve as a reconciliation committee or a reconciliation body. So what they will have done at this meeting was they could invite maybe their legal advisors to give legal
advice.
And of course, you know that even there are issues when it comes to even legal team of PDP. There are the issues of how Damagu selected, and some are saying the legal team of Wike are part of the legal team that Damagu selected as the legal team of the PDP. If I were them, what I would have even done was to look beyond the party,
yes,
and get some legal experts, some senior advocates of Nigeria, you know, to come and talk to them at that meeting on the basis of what now happened at that meeting, and expert advice. It's not even something that they can decide in one day.
It is not. It is not.
Because this is a serious issue. It's a serious matter. That I see that whatever even the court gives now as judgment, that is the Court of Appeal, the other party will still go to Supreme Court.
Definitely.
So, you see, that is what I expected. So I expected that in today's meeting, the two parties involved will have not been invited to that meeting at all. They will have just allowed the meeting to go on. The highest that the meeting could have done was to invite experts on legal issues to come and give advice on what to be done as far as the position of the National Secretary of PDP is concerned. On that basis, the BOT could have now advised give advice on what should be done.
Well, now, as the case is there a sign that the party structure, the party machinery, as headed by the BOT chairman and the acting chairman, does this indicate that they are supporting Anyanwu? Because if you look at it, the southeast caucus were the ones that selected Ude Okoye as secretary. And if I read earlier this morning that during the southeast caucus, Senator Adolphus Wabara was absent at the southeast caucus. Who he was supposed to be as a leader of the Southeast. He was not there, and they nominated ab initio Ude Okoye as the secretary. And now the Damagun and the BOT are recognizing Anyanwu. And there's a link. There's a link, an unseen link between Damagun and Wike. Are we now? Is this not a clear sign that it is the voice of PDP, but it is the hands of PDP, or the voice of PDP, but the hand of Wike?
Yeah, you see, this is where the issue of this PDP crisis is bigger than Okoye and Anyanwu. The matter of this PDP secretary is beyond these people. It is the matter of who controls the party.
Definitely.
It's a matter of who controls the party. As it stands, a lot of BOT members, even a lot of NEC members of PDP, do not trust Damagu as a person. Some of them are saying that Damagu is already playing the Wike's script.
Stan Wike is also a member of the party.
Yes, but you see, what is important as far as PDP is concerned is who controls the structure of the party.
Yes.
Particularly at the national level, and particularly at the National Executive Council level, because you know that the two elephants is the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and the FCT Minister Nelson Wike. These are the two elephants that are trying to control, and all these things you are seeing is all about 2027.
Yes.
Because as you know, whoever controls the structure of the party will definitely have a lot of impact on who becomes the candidate of the party in 2027. So what is happening is beyond just the office of the secretary. It is all about the control of PDP as a party itself. Everybody want to control the PDP structure. And you know, starting from the national level, the structure, you know, boils down. They want to also know that will amount to who control the different states, National Executive Council. You know, the neck of each. That will control who controls the different local government structure. That will go down to the ward structure and all that. So what I'm seeing playing is a battle of supremacy.
Definitely.
So it goes beyond what we are saying. That is why I felt the BOT being an advisory body constituted by the party that has a lot of elder statement supposed to take a proactive step, because if this thing continue, I see war. I'm not a prophet, but I see the PDP will not be able to go anywhere if they did not resolve their internal problem, because PDP has problem in Rivers, PDP has problem in some other states, PDP has problem at the national level, PDP has problem, or who is even we have seen that it was the governors that came together and I felt, okay, let Damagu continue. We know that even Damagu at a point was the courts, the issue of Damagu also as a chairman is before the courts. So it is important that PDP see these things beyond just the issue of 2027. Beyond just what is happening. They should see ahead of 2027. We are already in 2025.
Yeah.
When did they want to reconcile or settle these differences? By the time we're in 2026, we're already in the election year. Because by the time we enter 2027, everything about all these things, we begin to talk about 2027 election. So PDP as a party currently have a major problem. And you see, if you don't understand, some of the things that happen is that while you are seeing these two people fighting, there are people outside that are instigating them. Definitely. Some people are financing some of these things. Definitely. Because APC, for instance, will want this fighting to continue.
Definitely.
Because as far as PDP is destabilized, they see it as a free ticket for them 2027.
Definitely.
So unless PDP sit down, put his hands together and understand that this problem is bigger than the issue of who becomes secretary,
who becomes chairman.
Who becomes chairman. They should understand that this is all about 2027.
Okay. I would like our technical to play the video. I want us to watch this video, look at it, and I want to get your reaction on why are we still like this? Why are we still like this? Please play the video for us. I want our viewers to see what transpired at Wadafa House of Video.
Okay, go police. Okay. Okay, go police. Okay.
Okay, as you can see, that is some clips that we got from Wadata House, Abuja, the PDP secretariat, and the person in blue is Ude Okoye, Sunday Ude Okoye. And what came to my mind was, is this how we should fight for power?
Yeah, you see, this is not different from talks. What happened in Wadata House today is not different from what we see political talks are doing. I'm expecting that Ude Okoye, having been selected by the caucus,
Yeah.
if the BOT even refused to acknowledge him, he already got a judgment.
Yes, he already got one.
So he already has a first judgment. This other judgment was a stay of execution of his own judgment. So I expect that he will have followed a more civilized approach. Since both of them were invited, I've already said they were not even supposed to be invited in the first place. This was supposed to be a meeting that would cut cost for reconciliation, for PDP to know where they are supposed to be going. But since it happened, when he got there and see that situation, I didn't expect that he should begin to fight like a tout.
This is the claim he was physically dragged out of the meeting by supporters of Yahoo. Maybe that is what instigated his anger.
Yes, you know, two people cannot be right or wrong. If one is wrong, you also should not use a wrong means to correct your own. Already we have looked at the problem of that meeting. The problem of that meeting is the invitation of the two of them to that meeting. Naturally, under this situation, the two of them were not supposed to be invited, because I believe that the essence of that meeting is to find solution to the problem. So if the essence of that meeting was to look for problem, then why are you inviting the parties involved? Or else, even if you are to invite them, they were to maybe stay aside and stay somewhere, not inside
the meeting hall.
Then after a while, when you have been able to reconcile them and look at what is happening and the situation on ground, then you can now be able to bring them into the hall. But be it made to say, if it is the supporters of Anyanwu that dragged him, where are all the elders that were there? So how did the supporters of Anyanwu gain access into the meeting where BOT members are? Or are these supporters on Anyanwu part of BOT members? These are the questions that require answer.
What was reported was that the Anyanwu and his supporters it was a public meeting at first. So we had Anyanwu in there. Himself and his supporters were inside. He was seated on the high table while he had his supporters seated in the hall with other people, with journalists and the public. But when they came some minutes late, he was allowed into the hall, but his supporters were not allowed to come into the plaza, the hall and the plaza. So when he got in, when he started, his anger was that if you can allow supporters of Anyanwu to be in the meeting, or why are you stopping his own supporters from coming in? So I think maybe he started raising alarm and it was hijacked and taken out of it. Now, with this attitude shown, do you think, and he is supposed to be the youth leader, he's a youth, he's a young person, do you think there's hope for the Nigerians that the PDP is a better alternative to the APC?
Yeah, for us, you know, as journalists, it's for us to look at what is happening and analyze based on it.
Yes.
For me, if supporters of Anyanwu were allowed, this is also an error in itself. We have said that this meeting, even the two of them are not supposed to be invited, talk less of their supporters. So, and if you allow supporters of one, why didn't you allow the supporters of the other? So I felt PDP is the high time PDP understand that they have a major problem in their hand. If not, if PDP continue like this, the last election PDP came second. If PDP continue like this, PDP will not even come second. Because we already have a lot of alliance going on.
Yes. If you look at the last election, if you look at it, we will say PDP came second. But if you look at the PDP members in Labour Party, was a PDP former flag bearer. The PDP itself had the flag bearer. Then the NNPP that came forth also was a former PDP member. If they have come together, then I think by 12 noon of that election day, they will have the APC will have given up, but they broke their ranks and they divided their votes. And it seems they are even dividing it further, because since now some of them are even trying to go into alliance with the SDP, some are crossing over to the APC, and some are just confused, not knowing where to go. And so as it stands, do you think probably maybe should even the BOT, the National Working Committee, the National Executive Committee, should all this be dissolved and a new set of people brought into this? And how will they even achieve this? With
no, for me, what they will have done was to go for convention. You know, based on the party constitution, it is at the convention, at the national convention, that a new executives are selected. So for me, PDP as it stands today is a house of commotion at the national level, particularly, and in some states. So I know that congresses have started. I think the World Congress has been done. What PDP need to do now is to intensify effort and get done the local government Congress. Then I think the local government Congress too has been done, if I'm not mistaken. Or was it only?
I think it was the World Congress
that was done. So whatever remains, it is time to now look at how to get local government Congress done. Then from there, how to get the state Congress done. Then from there, see how to do a zonal Congress, that is in the sixth geopolitical zone, and the final one, which is the National Congress. So unless PDP sit down and put his hand in order and bring new leadership, I didn't see PDP going anywhere in 2027.
If you were a leader of the PDP, will you advocate that, okay, let them call Wiki, call Waziri, and call the other stakeholders into a room and see how we can resolve this? Will you advise this?
Yeah, you see, for me, PDP got it wrong in many places. This is my candid opinion, and I have said it in some quarter, and I need to say it on a live broadcast. The right candidate for the vice president at that time for PDP was Wike. Why? Reason is this. You see, you are going for election that the other people have a lot of coalition. Because you see, election is, why did you think APC went for a Muslim ticket?
To strengthen their support.
It's for winning purposes. Just to win. Because PDP at that time realized that, okay, South-South, Southwest, this Igbo, Southeast, but Southeast, they're not going to get any election. The only place in the South that they should look for, and that is because naturally, if Obi were to still be on that, Obi somehow was able to gain popularity for himself.
Yes.
Because we all know that what gives Labour Party that vote was not Labour Party.
No, it was Peter Obi.
In fact, it is in Labour Party last election that within the party we have a movement. The obedient movement.
Yes.
And those obedient movement, they clearly say they are not member of Labour Party. They are obedient movement. At a point they become obedient dirty movement. Meaning that we're here, and you will see that happens in a lot of those elections. You will see states in which at the state election, PDP won massively. You will see that presidential
Labour won. We even saw a case whereby they said the obedient movement was endorsing an APC candidate.
Yes, look at in Lagos, for instance. Labour Party won overwhelmingly, even with the fact that the president was coming from Lagos.
From Lagos State.
And even with that, we all know that that was still manipulated. But see, when governorship came, APC swapped.
Yeah, because there was no OB factor in that election.
In that election. So what I'm trying to say in the essence is that PDP didn't consider winning as a factor in the choice of their vice president. They were looking at Wike as a person that may not be able to be tamed or controlled by Atiku. They were looking at Wike as a person that may later become very powerful and ambitious to become president.
Could we see that maybe Alhaji Atiku Abubakar have been in that position? He has done it to his master, so
he didn't want somebody to come and do it for him. Yeah, it's a good analysis. But what I'm saying in essence is that if PDP have considered winning, that no matter what happens, let's win first. When we win, we can now
think of what
to do. How do we curtail Wike? How do we cut his wing and all that? They will have put winning first as their major priority. If they have put winning first as their major priority, Wike will have been the vice presidential candidate of Atiku in that election. And do you know, let me tell you, if Wike were to be the vice presidential candidate, there was a high probability that PDP will have won. Yes. Take for instance, Rivers.
You will have delivered Rivers.
Take for instance, Rivers.
Because I believe the hardest person to win Rivers for is the APC candidate.
Yes.
Nobody saw that coming. Nobody saw APC winning Rivers.
The thing is that Rivers was manipulated for APC.
Yes.
I was at the situation room monitoring that election. You will see a particular vote, and you will see how they change figures.
Yes.
You understand? APC on a fair ground did not win Rivers State. But for Wike to prove a point, Wike, you know what he did that time was to appoint, is it 3,000 or how many thousand special advisors and deploy them to all the wards and local governments.
Yeah.
So what happened was, but if Wike were to be the vice president, one thing that will have happened is that Wike will have delivered Rivers almost 100% to PDP. And you know something again? Remember, originally, Wike was already going with some governors, the 5G governors.
The 5G governors.
The implication of that also would have been that Wike will have influenced those governors for PDP.
Benue State
that because one thing factor about this election was also money.
Yes.
And you know that one man that can bring out money and say go and make sure you deliver is Wike. So you will have seen that in Benue.
Yes.
Because Wike will have done everything possible despite the low performance of Otom.
And he has the history in Benue. A lot of time he has bailed them out. In terms of IDP, he has donated money to Benue.
Look at Oyo.
Oyo State.
You already have Makinde with him. Look at
Enugu State. Abia
State. So PDP made a wrong calculation in the choice of. For me, Okowa had nothing to bring to the table as far as that election was concerned. So the choice of Okowa was a choice of a good vice president. It was different from the winning factor. When you're looking at winning factor, you don't look at having a good vice president. The PDP will have just strictly look at what will give them that vote. If they have gone for that and win later, will it have not been better if
Yeah, if they win victory settles a lot of issues. Victory settles a lot of issues, and they will have just made up and they say, okay, let us go ahead and fix the country.
So you now see that, and as I tell you today, Wike refusal to lead PDP will continue to be a thorn in the flesh of PDP.
It is.
Because already he is a prominent member of the APC administration. APC too will be happy for Wike to keep destabilizing.
They won't bring him into the APC. I tell people they would not tell Wike to come into APC. He's a better asset.
Yes, Wike is a better asset to PDP to APC in PDP than Wike in
APC.
Look at what he did in Rivers. As it stands now, hope you know that Wike control the PDP structure in Rivers.
Yes, except for recently where there was a court order, and I know they will go and appeal the order.
Definitely, the matter will go before Supreme Court. Because what happened, that is the reason why all the local government chairmen, imagine you have a governor that is a PDP governor, but your local government chairman are...
Is it AAC or AAP? Is it APP?
One is there's one that is it Abga or something. There's one that is another party.
You just know that it is just a local arrangement.
So you now see that for as far as APC is concerned, they prefer a Wike who will be a destabilizer in PDP than a Wike who will say, I've come back to APC.
I think that is it on this matter of the PDP. It's a never-ending story. It's a season film that never comes to an end, and we keep watching and we keep updating Nigerians because you may say, why are we always on PDP? Yes, we speak on national issues, and you think the opposition is one of the things that strengthens democracy, and the PDPs in the opposition, we feel they should be in a position of strength to ensure they put the APC, the ruling APC, on their toes. So that is why we always discuss issues that have to do with PDP. And as we all see, Chief Gabriel Lainka has shown some wisdom in the way he would have resolved this matter if he was there. And that's why in politics, we need, I think we need people like you more in politics. Let me just throw a stone here. Let me throw a stone here. Well, I don't look at it. Like I say, I don't consider you as someone that is not a member of a citizen of the state. Will you one day decide, will you in 2027 seek an elected position?
No. Why? Even if, you know, for now, I want to remain an analyst.
An analyst.
I want to remain a student of of Nigerian political situations.
Okay, you don't want a situation where you don't want to serve an unknown God.
For now, I believe that it is not yet time.
It is not.
Maybe tomorrow, it may situations and circumstances may arise. But for now, we will be at this side to put the political position,
his orders on
their tools. And probably tell them what we think they should do in situations like this.
Okay, so well, whenever you are ready, I know Tarabas are waiting for you. So thank you, viewers. We are going to go on a short commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about something that has to do with the local government and something that we should be expecting more of it in the coming months, because now, just like I said, we have created over 774 governors and presidents across the country. So we should expect a lot of agitations, a lot of people. More focus will be on the local government. So we'll go for a short commercial break, and when we come back, I think we are going to be crossing the river to Karim Lamido to see what is going on there. Stay tuned.
Supercab get you transported to anywhere you want to go in Jalingo, and let them also run your errands for you while you sit at the comfort of your home. And guess what? It is affordable, reliable and fast. They run a 24-hour service. You can click the link attached to this video to download the app, or you can also download the app on Play Store. I'm so excited for this, and I know you are too. Use Supercab today and be happy. Bye. What if I told you there's a cab service you can book right now in Jalingo? Sounds like a dream, right? No, it's reality. Let Supercab get you transported to anywhere you want to go in Jalingo, and let them also run your errands for you while you sit at the comfort of your home. And guess what? It is affordable, reliable and fast. They run a 24-hour service. You can click the link attached to this video to download the app, or you can also download the app on Play Store. I'm so excited for this, and I know you are too. Use Supercab today and be happy. Bye.
Are you ready? Join us for the Achievers Coaching Academic Summit 2025.
Themes and nursing natures.
Welcome back to Hangout with journalists on Sumtv. Before we went for that commercial break, we were talking about the PDP, and we promised to come back in the second half blazing. And as we say, we are going to cross the river to Karim Lamido local government. Karim Lamido local government is one of the oldest local governments in Taraba State, and it's one of the most, the one with the largest landmass, and one of the most that's one of the most arable lands in Nigeria. It's a local government that is full of history, and politically it's a local government that can swing any direction. So the Taraba News broke a story this morning where some concerned Karim Lamido citizens through their lawyer Issa Buba Esquire submitted a petition to the EFCC Gombe Command concerning an allegation against Honorable Britus Danjos, the executive chairman of Karim Lamido local government area, and the allegations are against him as there is abuse of office and embezzlement of internally generated revenue and other funds. And the amount is allegedly misappropriated is 181,402,360.39 kobo. That is quite a huge amount of money in internally generated revenue from Karim Lamido local government. So as it is, the petitioners they prefer to remain anonymous, and we were able to go to meet the legal practitioner, and we spoke to him at Sumtv and Taraba News to get his own side of the story. But we are going to bring some of the things he said here, but just to give you a rundown of it, they said it was unauthorized spending without legislative approval, and also the list of the transaction, let us say there's a 5 million naira for purchase of food items for security, that is on January 4, 2024, 6 million naira for fueling of security van February 15, 2024, then 5 million for palliative for people February 19, 2024, 12 million naira for conveying fertilizers to the local government area June 5, 2024, 10 million for purchase of assorted grains June 8, 2025, an additional transaction listed in detail, and it's all totally 181 million. And they say there's an attempt for him to cover up. These are all allegations, these are in the petition written against him, and we've tried to reach out to him, and we promise, as a promise, that he's going to come. So Chief Olayinka, with these grave allegations against him, what do you have to say about this?
Yeah, I think for me, it's a good thing that what is bringing all this is the local government autonomy. We all know that before now, nobody cares about what happens at the local government. Most of the times, people are not too concerned. But I think it is good that governance is coming to the people. And this is what we are seeing playing out in this. The 181 million naira allegation is actually very huge one. Taraba News was the first newspaper today to broke
as usual
that news as we are. And you know, it will interest you to know that we've been following this story not today. Okay. It's just that it's today that we broke the news out. Initially, when we got a wind of it, the lawyer were expected to invite the chairman and show him the petition, which they did from our finding. They invited the chairman, show him the petition, and the chairman promised to come back after 2 days. They never saw the chairman coming. And when the chairman did not come back after 2 days, actually when he came that time with his own legal advisor or legal team also. And the firm which these people who have authorized them to write the petition, they went ahead and submit. So I think this is a wake-up call to all chairmen, not just in Taraba State, across Nigeria, that now it is no longer going to be business as usual. All chairmen must now understand that focus is, attention is going to be given to whatever they are doing. So it is important for them now to begin to put their house in order and ensure transparency. You see, we must also understand that the constitution that we practice laid down process even at the local government level when we want to spend money. There are certain amount of money, even though I was expecting that there are going to be some there's going to be some adjustment. Okay. For instance, the law said before you spend anything above 50,000. So what is 50,000 in today's economy? The law provides that before you spend anything above 50,000, you must seek the approval of the legislator. And the way to seek the approval was to present a budget. And we all see that the budget that is being presented is for 2025. Yes. It is this 2025 now that the local, and you see, we have not seen presentation of budget and local government for long.
Very long.
For a very long time. It is the issue of money is that going to come directly to the local government that is now bringing the awareness that local government chairmen are supposed to present budget to the legislators. Now, what the chairman would have done if the expenses were to be legit was the fact that he immediately will have present maybe a supplementary budget to the house before embarking on this spending. So now there are two things, because you see, when we are talking about financial misappropriation, it is in twofold. Yes. The first is the authorization. Yes. The third is approval. There is difference between authorization and approval. Authorization is there is an authority given to you to spend. Okay. The first thing that this matter is trying to bring to fold is whether those expenses have authorization. And authorization can only come under this situation from the legislators. The local government legislator. The local government legislator are the one to authorize every expenses, meaning that you will have looked at the projection of what you want to spend in a particular fiscal year and present it to the even though you know things are new. I saw that in the presentation of the budget, there were budgets that were presented that same day and was approved that same day. But At least it's still a way forward that at least something was presented. The second is approval. So the first thing that these authorities will check is whether the local government chairman actually even received authorization to spend this money. Number two is the approval. Who approved these expenses? And number three is the spending, whether it was actually spent for the purpose which it was approved for. It was approved for. And you know, this time around, we're going to be asking for source documents. If you say you bought grain, where did you buy it from? Was there a receipt of purchase for the grain? If you say palliative for people, do you have evidence? Because in accounting, every expenses must be backed up with an evidence.
Yes, evidence of disbursement and payment for the items.
Yes. Voucher should not come alone. There must be what we call attachment to voucher, and that's what we call retirement. Sometimes you could make the expenses maybe because of like one of the allegations I saw here is palliative. If, for instance, something happened and there was emergency, you can go and make the expenses. But it's expected that after making the expenses, you will come back and put certain documentation and evidence in place that these expenses was actually spent and judicially spent for the purpose which you say you want to spend it.
Now, there's an allegation here. One of the allegations, they say the chairman allegedly directed the clerk to backdate council abstract to justify legal expenditures. Is this allowed in accounting? No. For you to backdate abstracts?
No, you are not expected to. So now, I think from what we gathered, sometimes if what must have happened is that when maybe it was, you know, that's why you see we're using maybe, because as far as we are concerned, we are not a judge.
Yeah, it's just an allegation.
It's still an allegation. So one thing to ask is it actually true that there was a backdating? If there is true that is backdating, the law does not provide for backdating. Okay. As far as budget approval is concerned, is supposed to be a pre-approval,
not a post-approval.
Not a post-approval. That means before you even make that spending at all, you must have received the approval of the legislative council. Number two is that approval should not be done you and the house leader alone. This thing was supposed to be tendered before the full house.
Yeah.
There's supposed to be a proceeding.
Yes.
There's supposed to be a documentation of proceeding. Who for the motion to adopt and approve the said amount, and who seconded and all that. How many members of the local government legislature were present? Whether quorum?
Yeah, was.
So those are some of the details or intricacy of some of these things. But as far as the law is concerned, as far as everything is concerned, there is no provision for post-approval. Budget must be pre-approval before the expenses even take place.
Now, I looked at the amount mentioned here. It quite hit me hard that 181 million naira in Karim Lamido local government allegedly misappropriated. So there's so much money in the local government like this, even without the direct disbursement of allocations to them. Is there so much? Could this, because some people are of the opinion that no, the local government can have as much as 181 million to be misappropriated. Do you go with that?
No. You see, what we don't understand is that there are so much money at the local government. In fact, another thing we need to begin to look at is sources of local government revenue.
Yes. And it's internally generated.
Yes.
Internally generated.
According to allegation, this money was supposed to be internally generated. Yes. There is the law that provides for what's supposed to be sources of revenue for local government. And if you look at this, it includes taxes from kiosks, shops, markets, you know, there are even some licenses that local government radio license, you know, there are also even land approvals, you know. So, and Karilamido is one of the largest in terms of landmass in Taraba State. So, all the markets, you know,
between their market, Karim market, there are markets all over Taraba, where people come to purchase grains.
Yes,
and the levy as much grain as are going out, they have been levied, and trucks that come, vehicles that come. I think there are local government levies from this, so it is quite.
So it's not out of place that to say the local government has been able to generate that kind of money. And you see, this is also bringing to light that we have a lot of resources, even at the local government, that we can leverage on.
Okay, before we go on, I would like our viewers to hear from the horse's mouth. The barrister Isa Buba is representing the clients. For now, they prefer to remain anonymous, and so for now he's going to be speaking on behalf of them. So let us allow viewers to hear from barrister Isa Buba.
As a professional, to write on behalf of certain groups of people. So these people, based on the interactions I had with them, their ambition is to make sure that the record is set straight, and also there should be public accountability and transparency in governance. That is all that they are after. Yes. Okay. Reasonable and prudent person, I wrote the petition, and I said it will not be pertinent and imperative for me to just submit the petition like this without giving the Honorable Chairman fair hearing. So I reached out to him. As I speak, he came to this office before the petition was submitted. I said, so this is what is before me, and then Honorable Chairman, what do you have to say concerning this allegation? So his response was that he doesn't know anything about it, and about, even though local government is very big, he's the head there, but he will consult some directors and other principal officers of the local government to know whether they are aware of this incident. He asked for 2 days, and I magnanimously obliged him with that 2 days. So the 2 days elapsed, and I have not heard from him. So as a professional, I have done my own part, and as a human being too, I have also done my own part. So when I did not hear from him, nor from my colleague who came with him, we had no option than to submit the petition. So he has seen the petition before its submission. Yes, and we have done that to clear our conscience and also hear if he has any excuse. But he claimed that he does not know all these allegations. So it is not our duty as lawyers to investigate. Ours is just to write, and the investigative authority will now take off from us. Yes. By virtue of section 35, sub 1 and sub 2 of the Taraba State Local Government Laws 2000, it clearly states that a chairman, executive chairman of a local government council shall not withdraw or make any project that is above 50,000 naira without the approval of the council. And who are this council? The council. And it was after the incidents that some abstracts were prepared and submitted to the council, and the leader of the council was urged by Mr. Chairman to help him sign this project, and urged the leader of the council to help him sign those backdated council abstracts, so that he, by doing that, all his illegal actions will be legalized. It was as a result of this transmission of the printed council abstract for signing from the executive chairman to the member that in one way or the other, hands were laid by my clients on those council abstracts, and that was how they got to know the illegal transactions that was happening in the local government council. This is something that is very shocking, and which I believe that if these allegations are indeed true, it is something that the stakeholders of Karela Mido should applaud my clients who took the bold step to stage this petition for the amelioration of the activities of the local government. So there are so a question is that if he had not misappropriated this phone, why is he coming now meeting the honorable leader Matison to legalize a document that was purported to have been written a year ago? If he had not misappropriated, then he has the intention, maybe the monies are on ground, maybe he has the intention to legalize the expenditure so that the money will be taken. All these ones are allegations which you are not very sure of until the appropriate authority saddled with the responsibility of investigations have carried out their investigations and come to the conclusion that indeed this is it. But as far as we are concerned, this is the fact we have presented to the investigative authority to carry out their functions. Okay. Submitted the petition to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Zonal Office, Gombe, and we have copied the SSG Taraba State. We have also copied the Bureau for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, that is the permanent secretary, and we equally copied the director, Department of State Services. Yes, and is that as citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and as promoters of due process and rule of law, our aim is to make sure that justice is done. This money, if truly were taken, I believe was meant for the good use, for the benefit of the citizens.
That is Barrister Isa Buba, legal consultant, human rights activist, and Amnesty International member, speaking on the petition submitted to him by concerned Karela Mido citizens. From what you have said, do you think this is politically motivated? It is all again being placed with the November elections, the local government elections going to come on sometime around November. Do you think all this is connected to the upcoming elections at the local government?
Yeah, you see, as chairman of local government now, chairman of local government need to actually sit up. You see, the way this whole thing happened, I won't blame the petitioners. Up to today, as I speak to you, you know, as I said, I'm speaking as the medium that broke and as the editor-in-chief. We have been expecting that the chairman will respond. Even today, we contacted him, tell him the allegations against him, and though he still promised to get back to us. Okay. So for us, it is still remain an allegation. We cannot begin to say who is right or who is wrong. But all the same, I was expecting that immediately the chairman, even before this petition was submitted to the FCC, I expected that he would have quickly responded. Definitely. Maybe if he has responded as at that time that he promised to respond, maybe this will have dust maybe some of the tensions. Yes. But one of the things that makes the firm, based on what we have with them to submit, was because the date given by the chairman to come back. So the chairman cannot claim that he is not aware of this petition against him even before today. It is true that the general public may just be aware of it today, but I can tell you that for like a week now, we've been following the event, and we decided to break the news today when we have finally established the fact that the petition has been submitted to the zonal office of EFCC in Gombe. For me, I really did not see this as a problem. I see it as a kudos to democracy.
Definitely.
Anybody who is willing to come to position of power must be willing to accept responsibility and hold accountable. And it is time for our chairman to begin to look at financial regulation and begin to ensure that whatever they are doing follow the financial regulation. You're asking whether politically motivated. Even if it is politically motivated, if your hands are clean, there's no problem. We will expect that there will be so much political motivation in the next coming year. The reason is because a lot of people will not get to be interested in becoming chairman.
Chairman, definitely.
You know, in those days, you see chairman as people who don't have anything. They depend on what comes from the state. But now, allocation will begin to come directly. So you will see that more political office holder and more political class will now be much more concerned and interested in what happens at local government.
Okay, from the petition, the barrister said they also notified, apart from the EFCC, the secretary to the government of Taraba State, the director, Department of State Services, Taraba State, the permanent secretary, Bureau for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Taraba State, then head of ICPC. As we all know, do you think there's a role the secretary to this government on behalf of the government, or the permanent secretary, Bureau for Local Government? Do you think they still have a role? They have a role to play in this to resolve this matter?
Yeah, you see what the law firm did was to copy them.
Yeah. Yes.
When you copy individual, you are only making them to be aware. They may not have the power to investigate it. But as it stands, the local government is a local government in Taraba. Since it's a local government in Taraba, the state government needs to be aware. The copying of the state government is to bring the attention of the government of Taraba State. Okay. The secretary to the government is a secretary of the government of Taraba State. So it's to bring the copying. Secondly, the copying of the Bureau for Local Government is because as far as the state government is concerned, all local government activity is channeled through the Bureau for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, who serve like a supervisory organ of the local government in the state. So it's to bring the attention. Of course, the copying of the state security is in case there is a breach of security. They are aware that things like this happen. They also will now put their tentacle in place and make sure that this does not result to break of law and order and all that.
Okay. Now, just before, I would like to know, so what if you were the chairman of Kamilani local government, what proactive steps will you be taking concerning responding to this allegation and concerning ensuring that there is a probity and everybody, how do you respond to these allegations?
Yeah, you see, one is the proactive approach and one is the reactive approach. The proactive approach is the fact that earlier this money will have been approved even before spending it. That is a proactive approach.
Yes.
That the chairman will have taken a proactive approach and making sure that he gets approval of the legislative even before embarking on the spending. The reactive approach now is that it has happened.
Yes.
I don't know whether he can go back to the house and ask for ratification.
That's it. That is if actually.
If, I say if he can. I have not looked at that aspect of the law. All I know is that expenses supposed to be pre-approved as a budget. But now that the expenses have been done, can you go back to the house for ratification? Maybe if he goes back to the house for the local government legislature to ratify the expenses, meaning that, okay, we were supposed to approve this thing before you do it. Now that you have done it, we are saying no problem. The other part which particularly the EFCC will be looking at is whether or not this money was even spent for the purpose for which it was said to be spent.
Yes, yes.
Because that's another part that a lot of people are not looking at. Because it's also very important in ensuring that whether or not the governor is being, the local government chairman will be exonerated. If the proactive approach now is to see whether those expenses, did they have approval, because you also need to come and look at procurement law. In some of these things that they have done, there is what we call procurement law. What is procurement law? For instance, in some level of expenses, you needed to have a quotation from 3 vendors, and you are expected to select one out of the 3 vendors, particularly the one that is lesser. Did they do that? Number 2, every purchase supposed to be backed up with receipts and evidence of execution. Did they do that? So you will see that the matter is just beyond just this has happened and this is the situation. There are, if it gets to EFCC, there are more technical issues that EFCC will look at. And EFCC will try to look at what is the provision of the law. What did they do? What have they not done? And see, I know if EFCC found a concrete legal ground, what EFCC will do is to charge into court.
Yes. Okay, now I would just want to hear from you, and an experienced media house owner, you're an experienced journalist, and you've done this for some years. Now look at the freedom of information law. Has it been functioning in Nigeria, and how could you, I think we could just exercise the freedom of information and go to the local government, ask for these documents. Has it been easy for you to use the freedom of information to get information on this?
Now, I must tell you that it has not been easy. It has not even been easy at the state government level, not to talk of local government. Sometimes at the state level, something will happen and you wanted to require for information. I remember during the past administration of Governor Darius, we've had issues that we wanted to get information. We've written up to as I speak to you, we didn't get answer. We're not allowed. Certain documents that we requested to see, we were not given. You know, rather, what we heard later was some of those documents were asked to be removed.
This is quite intense.
So that we will not even get access to it in case somebody will go behind to get some of those documents. So the Freedom of Information Bill is a very nice bill, but a lot of government within the country, the state and the local government have not allowed it to function. And I think this local government autonomy is something that will make some of this law to be functional. Because people will now begin to capitalize on those laws to ensure that those things are implemented.
Now, as a body of media houses, what is being done to ensure that these government agencies, what is the media doing? Because we have a role to play as the fourth realm of the estate to ensure that people are informed, and we have this role to play, and we ask for the freedom of information. Is it an indictment on our own side that we've not pressed hard enough? What is your advice to the media houses on how to press enough for this to get this information?
You see, one thing about this is sometimes whether you even have resources to pursue it. Because, for instance, the Freedom of Information Bill has a provision. When you apply for an information was not given to you, you can apply, you can approach the court of law, and if the court see it, the court will give a judgment and order that you be given. So you see now, one, even judiciary, if you take a matter to the court,
it became stale. The news will become stale before you
get some of this information are information you need immediately to take decisions. So you see that it will be difficult sometimes. There are certain laws that are there. That's why sometimes I talk about law in abeyance. Freedom of Information Bill is one of those law in abeyance. A law in abeyance is a law that is there, but it's not being used or is being functioned. So it's high time maybe body of media can come together. Maybe, for instance, if Nigerian Union of Journalists, for instance, institutes a case in which they requesting for the enforcement of this act. Another thing is also the domestication of this act.
Yes, some states it must be domesticated in the states, and now the local government.
Yes, so we need to see domestication of some of this matter at different level, at state level, at local government, so that this law will become effective. Because there's supposed to be transparency in governance. Governance is not a cult organization. They're supposed to be transparent. Transparent in the sense that any money that is being spent, everybody should have access to it, that this money is being spent. Every money that comes in, everybody should have access to it. In fact, part of what World Bank is encouraging is what we call SIPTA. That is Public Accountability Index. That is, organizations like this should have their website in which everything there, if for instance the legislature pass a budget, that budget should be in the public domain, that everybody will see that this is what is approved and it is within the public domain.
This just reminded me. I know you're a man that has ears to the ground and you get every information. I wonder how you go about it without or without freedom of information. Have you been able to come across any documents of those budgets and to scrutinize the lines, the budget lines, any of the local government? Do you have a document of their budgets?
Yes, some of them have been able to get for instance, in Adokola, for instance.
Okay.
I have the complete budget document of the Adokola.
That's good.
When actually, and these are supposed to be public document. When those budgets are passed into law and the local government chairman assent to it, they are supposed to be even available on the internet.
Definitely. The local governments should have their website.
Their website in which they will publish some of these things so that people can now begin to see that this is what they want to say, oh, this is what they have done. Oh, people can now begin to hold government accountable.
Okay. So thank you very much. And I think we've done. So finally, before we go, what should we expect from Taraba News, Sumtv, your CEO? What should we expect concerning getting to the end of this? Should we expect that there are further steps that you are going to take to ensure that we hear the side of the chairman?
Yeah, we've contacted the chairman. He has given us his word that he's going to respond to it. I believe the chairman is a man of integrity. I believe that we're going to very soon hear from him. And one thing, I sometimes people call us and say and show us, we all of these things we don't have an interest. Yeah. Our interest is accountability, transparency within our system. So if the chairman come on and tell us what actually happened, we are going to also let the public know that this is the response because
it's going to be given a fair hearing.
Yes. So on our own part, we are going to make sure that the governors, the chairman has a fair hearing. So all we need to do is we need to ensure that we have enough information. The chairman must be willing to provide information. Then the public should wait, because the public should be the judge.
Yes.
And if the law enforcement agency like EFCC
swing
into action, our law is so simple. You are innocent until you are proved
otherwise
guilty. So our law is not in some other country you are guilty until you prove you're innocent. But our own is that you are innocent until you prove that you are guilty. So as far as the law is concerned, right now the local government chairman is innocent. So until such a time, the next thing we're expecting is to hear from him. From when we have heard from him, it's not left for the two parties to decide which one they think is the best. But eventually, we're going to know what will happen as far as this issue is concerned. But for now, we await the chairman to come up with what he thinks about this petition.
Viewers, you can be rest assured that you hear from him that you're going to hear more about this case, because I know it will definitely get to the root of the matter. So we should know that on Sumtv, we are definitely going to ensure that we get to the root of the matter, and we, like I said, we are going to be fair, and we have always been fair. We have no interest. Our interest is for the people, for the masses to be informed. Our interest is accountability. Our interest is the rule of law. Our interest is to play our part as the fourth realm of society, to ensure that we are a watchdog for the society. And that is why Hangout with Journalists is brought to you on Sumtv. Chief Gabriel Laika, thank you very much for your insights.
Thank you so much.
You know, in-house, you always bring in here your advice, your analysis is always welcome, and it's always refreshing and in-depth. So on this note, viewers, we've come to the end of Hangout with Journalists, and stay tuned for subsequent. You know that we always break the news. Something might just happen before the next news, and please watch out for it. Watch out for Sumtv, watch out for Taraba News, and we rest assured that the best will always come here. We are the pulse of the nation. And for those of you who wants to follow us and follow subsequent program, we are on Facebook at Sumtv, on Facebook on Sumtv, and on YouTube at Super Media TV. We are free to air satellite on CSAT, on Strong, on NightSat. We are there, and also on our app and on Infostech app. So all these are avenues for us to join this program and join other exciting programs on Sumtv. I remain yours, Abraham Manajoda. Stay tuned, and God bless you.